Right then, before we get on to the strumming pattern, let's have a look at the chords that are involved here. As I say, they're all open chords except for the B minor. So we have a D, an E, and a G. There are 3 chords there. We also have an E minor. We have an A, and we have a B minor, which is your bar chord. Played in a bar shape like that, or as I said, tend to do it like that. Okay, so they're the chords you need to know. But we're going to start off with the intro, which goes like this. I think he plays that about 12 times, so it's... That's what I've called 1. In fact, no, I think it could be 16 times he plays that particular riff. And all it is, it's sort of like D octave notes. So what I'm actually playing is putting my little finger, little pinky there, on the 10th fret of the E string, which is a D note. And I'm putting my forefinger, that one there, on that fret there, which is the 7th fret of the G string, which is also a D note. So we have, okay. What we're also going to do is play the D open chord there, D open note. So we have D, D, D. We're also going to mute and stop the B note ringing out, because the B note is not part of this little chord. So while we're on the 7th fret there of that G string, I'm just rolling my finger slightly over to mute the string. So we have... Oh, close. The A string is sort of out of play on this particular part of the song, the introduction, but because the A does form part of the D note, it's not the world's greatest crisis if you don't actually, if you actually play that A note. And the rhythm we're going to be playing is this. Like that. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, but the most important thing is to emphasize that very first downstroke, so you get that nice ringing out, and the last 2 strums, which are 2 downstrokes. So we have like this, like that. Now, you don't have to play 2 downstrokes at the end. You can play down and up if you like. What I'm trying to do as much as possible is let that rhythm ring out, let those notes ring out, to make use of those that open chord there and all those D notes, so they all blend and together and make a nice full fat sound. If you want to put a bit more emphasis on it, you can occasionally just release the pressure on the fingers on the 10th fret of the E string and the 7th fret of the G string, so you get that sort of sound. If you want to put more emphasis on it, or alternatively, just let them ring out. Like that. Now, it might take a bit of practice, but it's such a beautiful part of the song and probably the hook of the song, so it's quite important we get that nailed straight away. So keep practicing that. Once you've played that a few times along with the record, as I said, it's like 16 little phrases, then we're going to slide straight down and do a D chord in the open position. All the chords are marked out for you so you can see the positions if you're not too familiar with them. And this is where it becomes a little bit more complicated, because we're now going to change rhythm. And the rhythm we're going to play now is... So what I'd recommend you do now, before we go into the actual chords of the song, using that rhythm pattern, play this a few times with the first pattern and then go into the second pattern and practice the change from that position to the open D, and more importantly, the seamless, obviously seamless change for the two rhythm patterns. So we have this. Okay, so you've got that sorted out. Now I'm going to show you the chords of the verse. Now the good thing about this is that it's pretty uniform and the strumming pattern doesn't change. Okay, so we're going to start off with D and then go to an E. G, now you can play the G like that or like that. I've used both variations in the intro that I played, just why not? So up to you what you want to play. Well, you've got G and then to A. Okay, and that forms the first sort of phrasing of the verse with a very uniform pattern on the strumming and the length of time you play each chord. So it goes like this. D, E, G, A. Okay, and we have D, E, G, A. Like that. Play that round a few times to get used to it. Then we're going to play exactly the same again, except we're going to stay twice as long on the A chord. So the A chord the first time round does. Second time round we're going to go. Okay, and you put all that together and you should have this. Okay, so that's the first phrasing of the verse. Now we're going to change the chords slightly. We're going to do to D, to G, then we're on an E minor chord, and then an A. Now the A this time, we're going to stay on that twice as long as we did last time. So it's going to be like that. So it's first time we play that little riff twice, then it's 4 times, and then it's 8 times. So we can put all that together and we should have this. I'm going to play it slightly slower for you. Okay, so bear in mind this is all about strumming patterns, but obviously we're trying to teach you a bit of the song as well. So that's the verse, keep practicing that and get that right. Now we have the chorus. It's exactly the same as before with the same rhythmic patterns and the same distance between the chords or the same timing on each of the chords. This time the chords go G, A, D, and then your B minor chord there on the bar, or like that, the way you want to play it. That sounds a bit fuller, doesn't it? And then we have a G, A, and then a D. Now the D comes back into play there, but what we're going to do, we're going to slide back up. Instead of playing that D, to play the octave again. Okay, so I'll play it slowly for you, and this is what we're going to do for the chorus, starting off on the G. And then it just goes round the whole loop again. So that's all the song structures there for you, all the chords are there for you so you can follow it through. So there's your two first strumming patterns. Now there's a middle eight, which it's not actually quite in the middle eight, it's not quite in the middle of the song, I don't think it's quite 8 bars, but what we have now is another change. And what I'm going to do here is show you the chords for this change with a little leady bit in it as well. Just why not? So what we're going to do in the middle eight, it goes. Okay, so we're going to do that. So we're going to go 3 downstrokes on the G. And what we're going to do is relieve the pressure on our left hand, or alternatively, just put our palm back on the strings so that it doesn't ring out. And then onto the A. So you're playing, 3 on the G and then 2 on the A. Like that. And then we're going to play 1 on the D. So it goes. And if you're feeling brave enough, you can do a little like that. So we're just going to play the first fret of the B string, which is the C note, hammer on to the C sharp note, which is the 2nd fret, and then hammer on to the D note, which is the 3rd fret. So we have like that, and that's your middle 8, which I believe plays, I think it's 2 or 4 times. Not quite sure, but have a look at the song structure and just play along with the actual record. Now the good thing about this, that's 3 very, very distinct little patterns that you have learnt in one song. So I'm just going to leave you to practice it along with the record and the chord structures, but before I do that, I'm just going to play each pattern with you on its own, just so you can instill it in that memory. So this is the intro. Pattern 1. Pattern 2 is the verse and the choruses. And the final one is your middle 8, which is like that. Okay, so what's quite important for the middle 8 is you're not going to play the whole chord, maybe just limit it to the E, A, D and possibly G strings. And there we have it. 3 little strumming patterns and almost a complete song learnt in probably under 10 minutes. Practice along with the song structure and the record. Look at the chord charts, and if you've got any feedback, please let me know. Hope you enjoyed that. Keep practicing, and ciao for now.